Recording in progress. It's only 8:26, and I know a few other people are joining, but happy 11/11. I even forgot it was 11/11 today, but today is a wonderful day, a day of portal magical energy, and I pulled a animal spirit card for us today, and the animal spirit card is rabbit spirit. And the rabbit spirit's message is that now is a lucky time. So basically, that we can manifest all our dreams and desires. We just need to get out of our fear and jump into the unknown, and all of it will come true. And what a beautiful message for today on November 11th. So it actually says, if you want to hear it, since we have 4 minutes, we have so rabbit spirit, now is a lucky time. A sunny meadow calls, and rabbit spirit appears to lead you out of your dark warren and into the light so that you can participate in a fertile and beautiful experience. It may seem safe below ground, but the magic happens when you come out and take the risk of being vulnerable and co-creating something new. Now, co-creating doesn't have to be with other people, it can just be with spirit itself. You are being invited into a new life that you have no experience with, but have no fear. Today is also a time to be fruitful and productive as you enjoy rabbit spirit's sunny and prolific energy. At this time, whatever you intend to bring to life will find fertile ground. There are no mistakes, really, when you are co-creating with spirit. So let new ideas spring to the surface, knowing that now is a lucky time of tremendous possibility. What a perfect message on the 11/11 day. The protection message is this: vulnerability is required of you now, even if you don't feel safe. Act as if you trust that you will be okay, and soon you will see that you are okay. To create is to take risks. So at this fortunate, fertile time, banish your fears and recognize the real security is in immersing yourself in the process of co-creation. It's okay to admit that you really don't know how to deal with whatever it is in front of you. This is where curiosity and not knowing can be a wonderful state of mind. Be playful now, admitting you are at the beginning of something. Come on out to frolic in the sun's nurturing light, because it is time to birth something new. What a nice message. So, still got a couple minutes before we start, but there is a beautiful rabbit spirit to sit with, and we can be seated on a chair if that feels comfortable for you. The practice is completely accessible for everyone. If you're seated in a chair, just making sure that your feet can be grounded onto the earth, they're not hanging. If you're seated onto the mat, I'm just going to show you on the chair. You can just be seated in a comfortable cross-legged seated position. You might want to move the legs every once in a while, just if you're seated like this the entire time. And or, of course, we can be standing and grounded if that's what you feel like today, even when we're connecting to our breath before we're starting. So just find your space today. I think I'll start seated and then I'll guide the spinal warm up standing, but again, it's completely accessible from the chair. My glasses will probably come off as they slide down my nose. And so then I can better come within and guide you. So whether you're standing or seated, just allowing yourself to feel all those contact points onto the earth or the chair, the ground. And just begin noticing the body, allowing yourself to do a little scan from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. And we're just noticing how the body feels. Is it cool? Is it warm? Do we feel hunger, fullness, heat, tingling sensations, maybe some areas of tightness or discomfort? We're just kind of listening to our body. And if it feels good, you can begin to close the eyes and come within. And that might happen right away, or you might blink the eyes a few times, slowly allowing them to get heavy. When we close the eyes, we can just rid of all those externals. We have enough distractions in our own minds, allowing us to come within. I'm so grateful and humbled you're here with me today on this 11:11 all levels practice. 11:11 is a symbolism for alignment. Some might also see it as a magical day, a portal of energy where we can create our desires. And with alignment, we can be aligned with our body. We can be aligned with our breath, connected to our movement. But we can also be aligned in our everyday reality of just being human, realizing that every day is a new day, every moment is a new moment, and every breath is a new breath. We don't have to be so hard on ourselves. We don't have to think about the past in this moment. We don't have to worry about the future and create scenarios of the unknown. We can just be here in the moment, in the now, with our breath. And so just listening to those inhales and exhales right now, just that intention begins to naturally slow it down. You may notice it moving fast and short and shallow. Or you may right away notice the breath moving long and slow and deep. We're not manipulating, just noticing it right now as it flows in and out. Maybe noticing if the breath is coming from the chest or the belly. And when we naturally just begin to listen to the movement of the breath, like I said, it begins to naturally slow down. And as you inhale, you can inhale through the mouth or the nose, especially if the nose is blocked. But if you can inhale through the nose, we've got those hairs in there to allow to filter out any impurities. And as you fill up on the inhale, you can feel that breath moving through the nostrils, the windpipes. You can almost visualize it expanding the lungs, the rib cage. Then allow that belly to get nice and full at the end of the inhale. Now we're guiding it naturally like when we were a baby. At the end of the inhale, as the exhale begins, the belly can come towards the spine. And then the ribs are collapsing, the lungs are deflating, and the breath is coming completely out. Again, the nose or the mouth, your option. Remembering to completely rid of that exhale so you have more space on your next inhale for clean oxygen, prana, life force energy to enter the body. Again, noticing that inhale filling up. Just following its pathway, listening to the breath. And when the inhale is done, the exhale begins. We're not holding the breath here. We're just allowing it to completely release out the body. And when you think you've completely released, releasing a little bit further. So we always hold on to old stagnant air. Again, inhale, filling up. And exhale, fully releasing. Now we can try counting the seconds on the inhales and the exhales. We're going to try for the inhales for a count of 3 or 4. And the exhale, we're going to try for a count of 6 or 8. So when we extend that exhale, we better activate our parasympathetic nervous system. That extended exhale attracts our vagus nerve and strengthens our vagal tone. and brings more calmness into the mind and healing into the body. So just ridding that last exhale completely. And then inhale for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7, and 8. Again, inhale. Counting those seconds of the inhale in your head silently, another meditative tool just to quiet things down. And exhale, nice and slow, completely releasing the breath. Let's do that 4 or 5 more times. Inhale, remember, listening to the sound of the breath or counting the seconds, but it's okay if the thoughts race through the mind. We're human. We just accept ourselves, realign, just like 11:11 tells us, and reconnect to that breath when we catch ourselves slipping away. Inhale, filling up. Feeling it entering every cell of the body. And exhale, fully, completely releasing the breath. Inhale again. Noticing it's already began slowing down even more than at the beginning of our practice. And exhale, completely releasing the breath. Let's do 2 more together. Inhale, nice and full. And exhale, completely releasing. You can even exaggerate the sound, almost like a hissing sound as you're releasing the breath, or even an exaggerated as we completely release that exhale. And then 1 more time, inhale. And exhale. And then just coming back into regular rhythmic breathing. The hands might be on the knees or beside you if you're standing. Just feeling everything rooted into the earth. Spine is long. Maybe we can open that heart a little bit more. We always like to protect ourselves by rounding those shoulders forward. Just lengthening and opening up a little bit more, creating more space in that chest. We need to take those moments of stillness between our postures, between our movements, to really honor our body. And then we're going to guide ourselves through a spinal warm-up, so you can remain seated, or if you'd like to stand, it's also an option. So if you're standing, just a little bend in the knees, not an exaggerated bend, just enough that we are not locking them. And all 4 corners of both feet are rooted, whether you're seated on a chair or standing. If you're cross-legged, just allowing the spine to be long, the heart open, crown of the head pulled up to the sky. Just feeling the foundation here. And then bringing our hands to somaste. Somaste is almost like giving ourselves a hug. We're just overlapping one hand over the other and taking 1 full inhale and exhale. And then on your inhale, you're going to bring the arms up overhead. You can come forward narrow or bring the arms out wide. And we're moving with the movement of our inhale. You might look up towards the sky, but you don't have to, especially if you feel some neck pain. And on the exhale, you're going to hinge at the hip and come down towards the earth with the release of breath. Again, it would be the same if you're seated in the chair or seated cross-legged. And then on the next inhale, you're moving up. Arms raised to the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down. We're going to lengthen out the left side of the body, not collapsing into the right. And then we're going to inhale, raise both arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring the left arm down, lengthening out the right side of the body, keeping that left side strong. Inhale, left arm raises. And exhale, both arms are coming down. You're transitioning them super slowly, as if the air was made of mud, with the release of breath. Then you're going to inhale, bring the hands onto the hips. Again, whether you're seated or standing. Inhale, looking forward. On the exhale, you're just going to guide your eyes and the shoulders, getting a mild twist as we look over the shoulder to the right. We're keeping the hips aligned. And then inhale, we're going to come back forward. Never rushing into the other side. And then exhale, nice and slowly, looking over that left shoulder, but maybe a mild twist in the shoulders as well. Inhale, coming back to center. And exhale, release the arms. That's one full round. Just feeling the body after that nourishing and loving spinal warm-up. If you're standing, I notice that my feet rock a little bit back and forth, just finding my foundation. Perhaps you as well. Or maybe you go between seated and standing. It's your practice, your alignment. Okay, round two. We're going to bring again the hands for a full inhale and exhale into Somaste. Inhale, arms up overhead, maybe looking up towards the sky if that feels good for your practice today. And then as we begin to release the exhale, our arms come down as if we're going into a seated or standing forward fold with the release of breath. We're not holding anything right now. We're just moving with breath like a dance. Inhale, reaching those arms back up to the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down, lengthening the left side of the body. It's like reaching up and over on a diagonal with the release of breath. Inhale, both arms are raised. Exhale, left arm comes down, lengthening out the right side of the body. Inhale, both arms are raised. And exhale, slowly bringing them down, again with the release of breath, all the way to the hips. Inhale, looking forward. Everything is aligned, straight ahead. Exhale, looking over that right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, looking over the left shoulder. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, release. Feeling your body. Listening to the breath. Feeling those moments of stillness, of quietness. Activating both our sun and moon energy, honoring our action and our rest. Both our masculine and our feminine sides, our inhale and our exhale. And one last round of our spinal warm-up. Again, bringing the hands overlapping each other for Somaste, honoring our body. And then inhale, reaching up towards the sky, looking up if that feels good. And exhale, hinging at the hips. With the release of breath, bringing the arms, they're in line with the sides of the ears as you release. And then inhale, as we fill up, we're bringing the arms back up to the sky. Exhale, right arm comes down, lengthening out the left side of the body. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, left arm comes down, lengthening out the right side of the body. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. And exhale, nice and slow. Move those arms down with the release of your breath, all the way to the hips. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, look over that right shoulder. Mild twist in the neck and the upper body. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, looking over the left. Inhale, forward. And exhale, release. Again, standing in mountain or seated in a chair on the mat. Maybe adjusting the legs if you've been cross-legged for some time. And feeling the warmth and the energy flowing through your body. Taking about 2 or 3 full inhales and exhales here. Remembering if you want to sigh on the exhale to release any excess tension or stress. You can even really get into lion's breath and stick out the tongue, open the mouth wide and look up to the sky like that feels good for you. Especially in these home practices, nobody's watching. Well, nobody's watching anyways. We need to realize it's all about helping ourselves and loving ourselves, not worrying what other people think. And now we're going to nourish our body all the way from the tip of our head down to our toes. We will do a couple holds a little bit longer, but at first we will just rotate our wrists, loving these little joints and bones and muscles in the bodies we often forget. So with the wrists, the arms can be down even if they're on a chair with side arms. You can raise them, and it doesn't matter which direction you're moving first. The hands can be in a fist or they can be open. It's getting out any cricks and cracks, excess air, vata energy, and then moving them in the opposite direction. Remembering to connect to the breath. And then on the inhale, you're going to squeeze that hand together. You're going to activate all those little muscles in the fists, in the hands, and the wrists. And then on the exhale, you're just going to kind of release that energy and let those hands go. Really extend them far, stretching out all those muscles. Then inhale again, bring it in. And exhale, release and extend. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale. And relax for a moment. Take a breath. Maybe, again, if you're standing, just arms beside you. Or maybe hands are on your lap. If we bring the palms down towards us, we're protecting our energy. If you want to feel a little extra protection, or if you want to share an energy, you can have those palms up. Got a little avatar battery connecting to each other. And we're going to nourish those elbows so we can, again, you can make those circles with the elbows, or you can just go back and forth as if you're doing a bicep curl. Just allowing some nourishment in the elbows. Quite often we forget about these parts of the body. And if you are doing circles, you're going in both directions. So a few circles one way, and then we'll balance it out and do the circles in the opposite direction. And if you're doing the bicep curls, just going back and forth a few more times. And then resting again for a breath or two. Can you feel energy pulsating through the body? Taking one more breath here. And then we'll guide some shoulder circles. Now, depending how you feel today, The shoulder circles, we can go forward or backwards first, this doesn't matter, but allowing yourself to see if you want to raise the arms or not. So you can bring the shoulders, letting the arms hang, or we can bring the arms exaggerated. That might feel better, just listening to your body. And again, whether you're going forwards or backwards first, doesn't matter. And after we guide a few circles in one direction, just moving them in the other direction. And again, listening to the body. Maybe the arms aren't raised as we go in the opposite direction. Perhaps they are. Loving our arms. They do so much for us every day, don't they? And our legs, well, our whole body does. Often we take it for granted in our breath. We have these amazing tools with us. Maybe one more circle in this direction. And then again, hands onto the knees or beside you. Taking a couple breaths here. We're going to guide some side movements into the neck. You're going to inhale, crown of the head to the skies if it's being pulled up by an invisible string. And on the exhale, bring the right ear towards the right shoulder. So we're getting that length in the left side of the neck. On the inhale, we can feel softness. Just stay where you are and breathe into the side of the left neck. And on the exhale, bring that right ear a little bit closer to the right shoulder, only if it feels good, or just stay where you are. Fully releasing the breath. On the inhale, find softness and stillness. Making sure that heart is still open, spine is still long. Exhale, right ear towards the right shoulder. One more here. And then after you finish that last exhale, on your next inhale, slowly guide that head back up to center. Take a breath or two here, feeling the length, the openness you created in that side of the neck. That's why it's so important to move slowly and with our breath, not bringing injury into our body. And so nice to ourselves and kind to ourselves that we can take some time just to slow down, as life often is too fast, isn't it? And then again, you're going to inhale, fill with breath. Spine is long. On this exhale, now you're going to bring the left ear towards the left shoulder with the release of breath. As you fill up on your next inhale, just staying where you are. Exhale, bring that left ear towards the left shoulder a little bit more, feeling extra length being created in the right side if that feels good for you, or staying where you are and just flowing the breath. Two or three more full inhales and exhales. The inhale is about softness and staying where you are. The exhale is about releasing and activating, maybe deepening a little bit further. Maybe noticing if one side was more tight than the other. Not thinking too much about it, just listening to our bodies and being aware of it. And then as you completely release that last exhale, just slowly on your next inhale, bringing that head back up towards the sky, crown of the head to the clouds. Maybe open that heart a little bit more again. Again, whether you're standing or seated. Just taking a couple breaths here. Now that we've lengthened out both sides of the neck. And now we're going to open up. I'm going to do like almost like a cat-cow, whether it's standing or seated. You can have the arms open like cactus arms. You can actually have the arms not up at all and just on the chair or the legs. So we're just kind of focusing on rounding the shoulders in and out with our breath. Or you can take your hands like a basket here and just lightly bring them behind the back of the head, elbows out wide. So wherever you are, just finding where you'd like to be. And on the inhale, opening up. So we're filling with breath, creating more space in the chest, maybe a little bit more length in the spine. You might even look up towards the sky if that feels good. And then as the exhale begins, we're going to round it all in. So you're releasing the breath. The arms are coming in if they're over or in cactus arms. If they're in cactus arms, I might bring them in towards like prayer hands. And then finally bringing the chin in towards the chest, rounding completely, even getting a nice rounding of the neck. And then inhale again. We begin to open up. Opening up that space. Opening the heart. More space for the light to enter. Inhale, maybe even looking up towards the sky, keeping the back of the neck strong. You don't want to completely rest the back of your head into that basket if you're using it. And then again, exhale, bring it all in, rounding it all in. Chin towards the chest last. We bring the elbows in together. Looking towards the thighs, then looking towards the chest, and then chin to chest. Again, one more time, transitioning with our breath. Inhale, opening, finding length, staying here, looking straight ahead, or maybe up towards the roof or the sky. And exhale, bringing it all in. And our next inhale, we're going to open up again, but we're going to hold that opening. So bring it all in with that release of breath, fully releasing that exhale. And then again, inhale as you're filling up, feeling the length, opening up. And then wherever that posture is where you'd like to stay today, your extended version, stay here, and the exhale and inhales continue to flow. So whether the arms are behind you in cactus arms or even beside you or on the lap, we still have space open here. And if you're not using the arms behind the head, you'll notice a little bit more strength is needed for the back of the neck if you're looking up. And it might just be 1 millimeter you're looking up. It doesn't have to be exaggerated. We don't have to push ourselves past safe limits. We listen to our body and what it's asking for today. And you can just feel those inhales and exhales flowing, allowing our space to be open here in the chest more, our shoulders to be coming closer together behind us. And taking 2 more full breaths here. I don't know if you can hear my chickens, but they're quite funny right now. I think somebody laid an egg. Taking one last breath, and then inhale, fill up. And exhale. We're going to completely round it in as we release the breath. And then releasing the back of the head, the hands behind the back of the head if they're there, and just bringing that spine, that crown of the head back long again. Maybe shaking up the shoulders a little bit, getting some space in the chest, heart again, looking forward. Just using this as a resting or transition posture. An alignment posture, aligning our energy. All about the yin and the yang. Our world is so yang. We definitely need more moments of yin. That's where we can really begin to connect to that healing within. Connecting to the parasympathetic nervous system when we slow down. Love ourselves, ground ourselves. And then we'll go into the side bend we did in our spinal warm-up, but holding it. Again, you can be standing. You can have one arm up and over, or if it feels better for you, you can interlock the fingers, pointer fingers to the sky, bringing them up. You might change that interlocking when you go to the other side. And that can be standing or seated. So again, making sure you're rooted and aligned. Reaching up to the sky. If you don't and you want the arms down, also an option. So you just kind of have the arms hanging. You might be a little bit off of the chair. You're just going to kind of raise this side of the body while hanging this arm down further. Maybe open the heart a little bit more if it feels difficult to raise the arms today. So finding where you'd like your arms, whether one is raised, none, or both. Inhale. On the exhale, bringing those arms over to the left side, lengthening out the right side of the body. You might open up the heart a little bit more, open that right shoulder, and exhale, come down a little bit further. Staying where you are, or inhale, fill with breath, and exhale, come down another millimeter or two. Feeling the length that's being created in the right side of the body while not collapsing in the left. You can even activate the abdominals. Might help hold the strength in the core a little bit more. And exhale, lengthening out that right. Inhale, feed the muscles in the right side of the body. Exhale, release. We'll do one more breath like this. And then inhale, come back to center. If the arms or one arm is raised, exhale, slowly releasing the arms down. Taking a couple breaths here. Before we lengthen out the left side. Maybe one more. And then deciding whether you'd like to be seated or standing as we lengthen out the left side, arms beside you, one arm raised or both. Remembering you can switch that grip. It changes up the brain memory a little bit. Inhale, reaching up long, and exhale, bringing those arms over to the right. Lengthening out the left side of the body. Again, open up that left shoulder a little bit more. And exhale, come down. Again, even if the arms aren't raised, we can still get the length in the left side of the body. Honoring ourselves. Softening on the inhale. Exhale, you might come a little bit deeper. Inhale, feed the left side of the body with oxygen. Exhale, come down a little bit further. Or stay where you are. 2 more full breaths here. Trying to keep that neck strong and aligned as well. You can feel the arms, if they're raised overhead, rubbing along the sides of the ears. And one last full breath. And inhale, coming back to center, nice and slow. And exhale, slowly bring those arms down if they're not already there. Again, if you want to shake them out a little bit, some soft movement as we held them overhead for quite some time. And then take a few breaths here. Next, we're going to go into a seated twist. So standing will be a little bit more difficult if you want to sit cross-legged onto the earth or you want to be seated into a chair. You can slowly make your way there if you're not already. I'm just listening to your body for a few inhales and exhales. I can't explain the importance enough of really taking the time to love these moments of stillness when we're not moving and flowing our bodies. It's all medicine, it's all healing. In fact, might be the most healing of all when we take those moments of stillness and quietness. So if you're seated on the floor and you're cross-legged, that's fine. I'm just showing you here from the chair. I don't advise it from the chair, cross-legged. You're going to bring one hand over the outside of one of the knees, and your hand's going to be, the other hand is going to be beside you or behind you. If you're seated onto the chair, you're going to have the feet rooted down. You're going to have the right hand either beside you or behind you, depending on your chair, how that works. And the left palm is going to come to the outside of the knees. So you're going to inhale, lengthen up, and press the left palm into the outside of the right knee, right arm where it needs to be. And on the exhale, you're going to press into the outside of that left knee and guide a twist in the core center of the body. So we're not moving quickly. Eventually, maybe after 4 or 5 breaths, your eyes might come towards the back of the room. But with each inhale, we're not twisting. We're just softening where we are, filling with breath. And that might be as far as we go today, and that's okay. And exhale, if it feels good for you today, you can kind of activate those abdominals, squeezing the belly and pressing into the outside of that right knee and twisting a little bit further. Inhale, soften and lengthen. Exhale, press and twist. Maybe 2 more on each side. Oh, on this side, sorry. Exhale. And again, staying where you are, where it feels comfortable. If that's just a micro movement today, that's absolutely perfect. Just stay connected to the breath. And then on that last exhale, press and squeeze and twist. Only if that felt good, and then release and come back to center. Resting here. If you're in cross-legged, you might switch those legs. And bring the arms beside you onto the legs just for a breath or 2. Noticing if the mind is getting caught up in the thoughts, just connect back to the breath. We have thousands and thousands of thoughts that run through our monkey minds every single day. And that's all right, giving us some time to catch them and then connect to our breath, send them on their way. We don't have to get frustrated with ourselves. Listen again to the breath, and maybe counting the seconds of the inhales and exhales silently in your head to quiet down those thoughts. And then we're going to twist it out on the other side. So if you're in cross-legged, that's great. If you're in the chair, you can bring that left hand either to grabbing onto the side of the chair, or maybe you're bringing it behind you. And then you're going to take that right palm and place it onto the outside of the left knee. Inhale, fill up, find length. And then on the exhale, activating those abdominals, pressing the right hand into the outside of the left knee, squeezing and twisting with the release of breath. Maybe it's just a tiny, small movement today. That's totally okay. And flowing about 4 or so more inhales and exhales. The inhales, you provide stillness and softness as you fill up. Exhale, you can press and twist and activate a little bit further. Whether it's exaggerated or one tiny little micro movement. And perhaps the eyes get closer towards the back of the room with each exhale and twist. Or maybe not today. Loving ourselves, aligning ourselves with our beliefs, our feelings, our breath. Honoring ourselves. Or maybe one last inhale and exhale here. And then slowly releasing the arms, bringing that spine back to center. Taking a few re-energizing breaths. Now you're going to do a seated or standing forward fold that we're going to hold a little bit. Again, if it feels good. Just staying here and seated. You can come a little bit forward on the chair. And you can bring those heels to the earth. And the toes are raised. You can almost bring the toes towards the face. That way we get a little bit of an activation in the back of the legs. Seated. If you're standing, bringing those feet close together, a little micro bend in the knees. And then you're going to inhale, bring those arms up overhead. And on the exhale, you're going to begin hinging at the hip. So we're not going to round the spine right away. Whether you're seated or standing, we want to hinge here, like we're almost like a doll, you know, and the back is not bending. We're just coming down with the release of breath, whether you're seated or standing. And then wherever you are, now you can just kind of like surrender into it. If you're standing, you can exaggerate the bend in the legs, and you can rest your belly onto your thighs. Arms can be behind you. They can hang like a rag doll. You can grab onto opposite elbows. Let that head relax and release. And even if you're seated, same thing. We just came over top. And now relaxing. Maybe even the chin might rest between between the knees. The arms can hang beside you. You can grab opposite elbows behind or in front of the legs. Just let that neck relax. Get some blood flow into the upper body. A nice, mild, calm inversion. Letting that energy flow, 3 or 4 more nice, long, slow, deep breaths. Noticing if you're seated on the chair and the heels are down and the toes are coming towards the face, a nice kind of little stretch you get in the back of those calves, just almost near the knees. And taking one more full breath here, wherever you are. Releasing the arms if they're holding onto the elbows. On your next inhale, you can press your hands into your shins just to help flatten that back. Inhale, fill up. And then exhale, you can help those hands guide you back up into seated or into standing. You might come back a little bit further onto the chair again if that's where you are today. Taking a couple breaths here. And we're going to do a thread the needle. You can do thread the needle on the floor or in the chair. You can also do it standing, but you need some balance, or you can hold on to a wall. If you're going to do it standing, you're going to bring the left ankle above the right knee onto the thigh, never pressing onto the joint, so you have like that number 4. And then you're going to come down into seated. Same as if you're on a chair, you can just guide that left ankle above the right thigh, and then we're going to just hinge forward at the hip. And if you're on the floor, you can come onto your back, and you can bring that left ankle above the right knee, and you're going to pull the right leg in towards you. I think you've probably all done this stretch if you've ever played in any sort of sports or gone to an exercise class. This is great for the outside of the hip. So allowing yourself, if you're wherever you are, standing, lying, or in a chair, inhale, left ankle is above that right knee. Exhale. You're either coming down into a squat standing, you're hinging at the hip if you're seated into the chair, or you're pulling that right leg in towards you if your spine is on the mat. And you're taking a full few inhales and exhales. Really loosening and opening up. This is where our energy flows, connecting to our Svadhisthana, our second chakra. That's connected to the flow of our energy. We hold a lot of trauma and memories, things perhaps not serving us in our hips. And just taking a few inhales and exhales here. And even if this wasn't accessible for you and you were just seated, just breathing into the outside of that left hip. It's like an autogenic training. It's amazing what our mind and body can do. If you're hinging at the hips and you are in a chair, you're just coming down a little bit further with each exhale. If you're on your back, with each exhale, you're bringing that right leg in a little closer towards the chest. Or you're deepening into the squat if you were standing. Maybe one more full breath here. And then slowly bringing yourself back up or releasing out of it. Left leg off of the right. Taking a breath or two here, feeling the outside of that left hip. Before we guide it into the other direction. And if you're on your back, both feet are rooted into the mat and the knees are to the sky, legs are bent. You're seated in the chair, just taking another breath or two here. And then slowly, you can begin to lift that right leg, bringing the right ankle above the left knee. Creating that number 4 again, seated. You were standing. Coming down into the squat. And then if you were on your spine and the legs were bent, you can bring that right ankle above the left knee, and then on the exhale, you're going to be pulling that leg in towards the chest and softening on the inhales. My bun was getting caught in that chair. So I'm going to be seated into the chair. Right ankle is above the left knee into the thigh. Inhale. Exhale, hinging at the hip. And coming into that kind of forward fold again if you're seated here in the chair, feeling a stretch in the outside of the right hip. Or maybe your leg isn't lifted and you're just breathing into the outside of that right hip, all good. You're on your back, pulling that left leg in towards you with the release of breath. We're coming down a little deeper into the squat with each exhale and softening and honoring ourselves on the inhale. Taking 2 or 3 more full breaths here. Maybe 1 more inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, slowly releasing out of it. Helping that right leg come up off of the left if it needs to. Maybe wiggling out those feet, those legs. That feels good. Taking a couple breaths. We're almost done our movement for today. Another egg was laid. You hear that? And then we're going to rub our hands together a few times. Maybe for 10 or 20 seconds. And you're just feeling the warmth that you're creating in your hands. And then for our knees, instead of moving them, we're going to give them a nice little massage. So all we're going to do is take those warm hands and just start to circle our knees in either direction. Maybe 5 or 10 times. Moving with the sound of your breath. And then in the opposite direction that you were going before. Showing some love here to our knees. And maybe 1 more time and then releasing. If it feels good, you can do 4 or 5 kicks with the leg. Just nourishing and moving the knees as well. Might have to lift it up and guide it. Or we can leave it onto the chair. Or you might have to be standing here. Or if you're lying on the back, I guess you could kick it up towards the sky. That's what I would advise. And then rooting that foot down, lifting the left, kicking that away from you. And if you're on the spine, kicking it up towards the sky. And then we'll guide some ankle circles after you root that left leg down. So you can lift the right foot or the left foot if that feels better for you. We don't need to be too black and white rules, but we will nourish both sides of the body. So we can guide those ankle circles almost as if you're tracing a circle or a letter O with your big toe. Moving in either clockwise or counterclockwise direction. Allowing any excess air to be released here, any dryness, nourishing it with breath moving in the opposite direction than you were before. Guiding a few nice slow circles here. And then just like we did with the fists, we're going to inhale, squeeze the foot together as if we're making a fist. Exhale, we're going to try and extend the muscles and the toes and the feet as much as we can with the release of breath. Inhale, bring it in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, release, extend. Inhale, squeeze, 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 bring it in. And exhale, release and extend completely. Exhale completely. And bring that right foot down. Taking a breath or two here before we do it on the other side. Again, if you need to assist that left leg up, holding it with the arms. If you're on the spine, lifting that left leg up towards the sky, and we can just guide those ankle circles. Again, nice and slow. Tracing that round shape with the toe, the big toe. Moving either clockwise or counterclockwise. And then moving in the other direction. I have noticed if one side was a little more stiff than the other. One last breath here. And then inhale, squeeze those toes, the foot all in like you're curling it in like a fist. And exhale, release and extend. Inhale, bring it in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Exhale, extend, release. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale, release and extend. And release that left leg back to the earth. If you're still on your back, just bringing those feet mat width apart and the knees kind of crash in towards each other to relax. If you're in the chair, legs are nice and close together or hip width apart, feet rooted. Noticing if our spine is still long, our heart is open. Crown of the head to the sky. Feeling your whole body here as we've completed movement and nourishing it all the way from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. We're going to do a few minutes of humming. Did you know that when you're humming, actually paramedics, between their emergencies, they are trained for 6 minutes to do closed mouth humming, and that actually reduces stress by 65% versus with the mouth open, which is something only like 30%, because it activates that vagal nerve, that strengthening that vagal tone right in our parasympathetic nervous system. So we're going to do 2 or 3 minutes of that. All we're going to be doing is humming. It doesn't matter at what level. We're just creating that vibration. If you want to feel the vibration a little bit stronger, you may cover the eyes and plug off the ears with the thumbs, and you'll feel the strength of that vibration even more. But you'll fully release the exhale. Inhale. And moving at your own pace. Inhale and then exhale, humming again. And one last time. Coming back into your breath. We'll just take 1 or 2 minutes in Shavasana. If you're in a chair, just resting as you can, trying not to slump too much. If you're lying down onto the mat, just allowing everything to sink into the earth. Legs out wide, maybe feet hang open in opposite directions, and the arms might be out wide beside you. You might bring one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Just listening to the movement of your breath. Feeling your body, the whole body. Noticing the sensations and the feelings, even around your peripersonal space, which is like this egg-shaped energy of aura around us, our real boundaries, our true protection. Just surrendering a little bit further into relaxation and rest. And staying here as long as feels good for you today. You might even let those facial muscles soften. Perhaps the teeth are clenched together, just letting them melt apart. Maybe the tongue is stuck to the roof of the mouth, letting it release. Letting the eyes sink a little deeper into their sockets. And remembering that today is our day of alignment, our 11:11, reminding us that each day is a new day, each moment is a new moment, each breath is a new breath. And to continue loving ourselves and honoring ourselves in our imperfectly perfect state. Staying here again as long as you like. And if you'd like to end seated with me today, if you're not already there, just bringing some movement back into the body. You might wiggle the fingers and toes. If you're lying in Shavasana, you might do a nice long stretch. If you're waking up first thing in the morning, even seated, nice big stretch. Maybe rolling over into the fetal position, using your bicep as a pillow. And then slowly pressing your hand into the earth and making your way up if that's where you'd like to be today. I hope you have a beautiful day, and may the light and love within me shine and connect to the light and love always within you. And may we continue to raise the coherence and the vibration of Earth by raising the vibration of ourselves. Namaste.